Wait, wait, this isn't me? What the fuck's the title of this video? Oh, hell nah, chat, bro. He's capping. I thought this was about us, dead ass.
How would you define Scientology?
They said the most notorious cult, Scientology.
It's just your body that died. You as a Thetan just jump into another body.
Dude, we should create fake lore so like outsiders hear about us. It's like Scientology, and we're like, yeah, we're connecting to the astral plane and talking to our alien ancestors to elevate our human bodies. Like it just have like a freaky idea. Like we actually don't believe in it, but like it's just what we tell people. Like what are you guys about? Yes, we gotta get like good lore so we're not messing it up or changing stuff around. I'm on board. We gotta write like a little pamphlet of Scientology. They like hand out to people. Are we not, bro? Those that one night, Allie's like the voices. They can't hear you. Like she was connecting with her ancestors that night. Her alien ancestors.
Scientology from the very first breath that I took. I was in the billion-year contract.
Pledging themselves lifetime after lifetime for 1 billion years.
Pat Harney, you gotta relax. This is public, right? You open it up. All are welcome. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, where's the private property line?
You need to leave right now.
Don't touch
private
me.
property.
Don't touch me.
It's private property. You need to leave right now.
How's this Sea Org treating you? We can help you get out if you want to.
Yeah, get out.
Don't push
You're
me.
trespassing.
Where's the line?
Okay.
Where's the line?
Pepper spray. Now you get out or I'm gonna use it.
Scientology sucks.
America's most notorious cults and reveal to you what they do behind
Scientology,
closed.
the number one to ascend, you have to have at least 500 gifted subs to my Twitch channel, and to rise to the next layer of the ascension, 1,000 gifted. And if you want to go to the upper echelon, where I'll be 5,000 total gifted to the channel. Chat. Listen, this is what the ancestors have passed down upon me, and I'm not taking this based off Scientology. I'm definitely not copying how Scientology works. The more money you pay, the higher up you get.
Doors. First, let's get you up to speed on what this religion is. Scientology is a religion that was started by L. Ron Hubbard, a man who also happens to have the Guinness World Record for being one of the most published science fiction writers of all time. It's a bit of a complicated religion, so bear with me, folks. It's based on the premise that a galactic overlord named Xenu
That's me!
brought billions of beings to Earth millions of years ago, chucked them into volcanoes, exploded them with bombs, and created creatures called Thetans, which essentially is this invisible spirit that attaches itself to you and is
It
responsible.
sounds like they're saying Satan with a lisp. Thetan. Thetan, Thetan, Satan. You know that one song? Hey, Mulan! Thank you for your dedication to the church. The community appreciates it, and I'll have your ticket ready on the Golden Chariot to the alien spaceship. Okay? Fucking appreciate the fuck out of you. Shout out Mulania. Bing, bam, boom. Bing, bow, 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 bow. Bro, I'm washed. Where is this? Shout out Mulan for real. Bro, I can't wait to see you, good sis.
For all of the negative things in your
The
life,
third
ranging
circle,
from anxiety,
the third
addiction,
ring.
emotional pain, and
My
more.
number's
And the
up.
only way to remove
And guys, if you hit 10,000, I'll reincarnate you. You're welcome.
these pesky Thetans from your body is
Into
to
whatever
follow
bug
L. Ron
you want.
Hubbard's foolproof process. His methods involve paying boatloads of money to the church for courses called auditing classes, and even signing yourself up for a lucrative billion-year
Imagine you pay all that money to get reincarnated, and I reincarnate you as like some white frat boy in Ohio. How pissed would you guys be? How mad? Just give you the worst spawn point, Cleveland, Ohio.
contract to the church. This cult has a shocking list
I
of
give you like a young Republican haircut.
charges against it made by former members who allege the following. From the age of 2 on, you sometimes saw your
Can I get
parents
a
only
do-over?
once a week.
Yeah.
I remember we had one nanny, she was like 16 years old, and she was like stuck with like infants, like.
It was, that whole thought process pretty much just stopped at the point where I was like, I don't know what to do about this.
In order to
Liquid
investigate
Death.
this religion for ourselves, we head to Scientology's
Bro, Liquid
two
Death
main
water
hubs,
kinda
Clearwater,
mid.
Florida, and Los Angeles, California. What we find is a world guarded by secrecy. We have numerous clashes with church security, we hear heartbreaking stories from former members who were born into the religion, and we observe how Scientology has put a stranglehold on the city of Clearwater. Folks, truth is the most powerful weapon we have against lies, manipulation, and corruption.
Yeah, bro.
This is what Scientology
Tom
does not
Cruise
want
is
you
one of
to
the
see.
biggest Scientology
Folks, before I
members.
stick my boot up Scientology's ass, I gotta know.
Does it taste like a tin can?
Between Clearwater and Los Angeles, this is where
What does cum taste
Scientology
like?
is primarily located. We're going undercover to start this operation, and we'll be boots on the
Even
ground
said
here in
Clearwater.
Florida.
I've actually been to Clearwater a lot.
These guys get $50 a week.
Yeah.
They need a union in Scientology, huh?
It feels like we're in like a nuclear testing town, almost.
But look,
That's
like the
crazy.
Scientology people on the roof right there, maybe trying to sign $1 billion contract to Sea Org for $50 a week.
I have
You
been
have, yeah.
helping people who have been abused
lived
or
in
defrauded
Florida.
by Scientology.
This is Mark Bunker, a journalist, activist, city councilman, and Clearwater resident who spent over 2 decades fighting against Scientology. While many others would fold under the harassment and intimidation campaign that the church used on him, he has refused to be silenced. We pick him up and drive around Clearwater, and he helps us navigate Scientology's territory. Is there a place where they're a gathering place where they want to bring me in to tell me more about it?
There's a welcome center.
Hey, scam. Were you in
This is
Scientology at one
Hacienda
point?
Gardens, and this is where the Sea Org members live. They sign a billion-year contract to work for Scientology. The trees are going to cover up one area or level until boom, right here. Apparently, Miss Cabbage lives behind those trees.
Miss Cabbage?
We would be kept up all night and sleep for a few hours under our desk. Basically, any little sense of joy that you had, there were people
dat?
marching around trying to take it away.
Fuck Miss Cabbage.
My name is Jenna Miscavige, and I was born and
Oh.
raised in Scientology, and I left when I was 22 years old.
This is Jenna Miscavige. She was born into Scientology and is the niece of David Miscavige, the man who seized power of the church in 1987 after L. Ron Hubbard died and has ruled the
Damn.
church with an iron fist, allegedly, ever since. This is kind of like if Kim Jong-un's niece fled North Korea,
That's
lived to tell the
crazy.
tale, and we got to interview her. In Scientology, her life was tightly controlled. She endured intense indoctrination, physical labor, and emotional manipulation. Here's what she had to say.
When I was 9 years old, I did what Scientology calls a purification rundown, where I had to be in a sauna for 5 hours a day. Yeah, and I would get like bloody noses even, but you have to keep going until you achieve whatever it is they want you to.
This is
like you have to voice
crazy.
something that's the result of that program, or else you have to keep doing it, basically.
Well, my name is Serge. I grew up in Scientology.
And after surviving a period of horrific neglect as a child, the church began to groom him to be a
That's
rising star of
crazy.
their auditing team. Auditing, by the way, is one of the main exercises of this religion. It's the practice of someone getting relentlessly questioned until they are able to release painful or traumatic thoughts that they may be holding on to.
Yeah, I've
believing
heard
that
of
once
this.
they do that, they can free themselves of this negative baggage they are holding
I wanna
on
start
to.
auditing
This is
you
his
guys.
account of what he experienced.
The kids
What's your trauma? What's your trauma? What's your trauma? What's your trauma? What's your trauma?
go from the very bottom of the org board, which is like the maids, the ones that are like 14-year-olds doing the beds of the adults that are booking rooms
Tell
at the
me,
hotel.
how much time
right?
you
They
got?
recruit all the little young ones because they can have
No,
them do
5 hours and 40 minutes.
As a 12-year-old, basically, they put me into full-time training. So I was basically studying full-time. In Scientology, they would just call it an auditor. And then at one point that switched where I changed to be training to be the person who trains auditors.
This is Aaron Smith-Levin. His mom got him into
That's
Scientology at an early
crazy.
age, and after being pushed to drop out of public school at only 12 years old, he spent most of his waking hours working for the church. Now,
Talk
all
about
grown
my
up and
horrible
free
ex
from the
and
cult,
Nuff.
he is one of Scientology's most active
Why?
critics, known for his YouTube channel Growing Up in Scientology.
I worked full-time for Scientology from the age
But
of
no,
12
for real, if you guys
to
ever,
26.
if you guys
I was
ever
taking-
need someone to talk to, or just want some advice, or just, you know, want to talk, or just, you know, need an ear, bro, I got your back.
out of school to work full-time for Scientology. I never went to high school. I don't have a diploma or anything like that.
Aaron's brother and I become like these like child prodigies that David Miscavige and Shelley were very obsessed with because we
To learn
completed the
more.
metering course and got a license. We were
Yeah,
the
let's check it
first
out,
kids
Sammy.
that were able
Got
to
you, girl.
read the e-meter.
For reference, an e-meter is a sort of primitive lie detector that Scientology uses during auditing sessions to see if you are telling the truth. If an e-meter indicates to an auditor
That's
that you may
crazy.
be hiding something, even your darkest secret, you will be questioned again and again and again until you reveal that thought.
perfectly on a video and get a pass by Shelley Miscavige, which was like the biggest deal in the world at the time.
You weren't just born into any family in Scientology, the Miscavige family. Of
That's
course, in attempting to
crazy.
get both sides of the story, we sent multiple interview requests to Scientology to speak to David Miscavige or a media representative. But due to the disastrous feedback they get when they do speak publicly, the church quite simply does not do interviews. In
That's
fact, David Miscavige
crazy.
has only done one interview with a journalist, with Ted Koppel back in 1992.
You realize there's a little bit of a problem in getting people to talk critically about the Church of Scientology because, quite frankly, they're scared.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm-
And since then, and for
That's
over 30
crazy.
years, he has been radio silent except for totally scripted and bizarre Scientology-made media that looks like this.
Whatever you have heard, if you haven't heard it from us, I can assure you, we are not what you expect.
For a man
Chat, I should go deep undercover, join Scientology, and expose
that
them.
rules Scientology like a big tough guy, little David folds like a lawn chair when it comes to any sort of accountability or questions from the public. But there may be a reason for that. Here are some of the allegations against David.
You have written a whole book about your son, and you've called the book Ruthless.
Yeah.
David's father.
Very.
Whole
Wait,
book.
that's the member of Scientology, the leader of Scientology's dad wrote a book about his son. That's crazy. Really goes on in there.
About your son, and you've called the book Ruthless.
Yeah. A very, very aggressive style and a tendency to violent outbursts that are physical in nature.
And to give you an idea of what type of guy he is, just look at what he did to his own parents that left Scientology. He and the church published hit piece websites about his parents, claiming his dad to be nothing more than a pots and pans salesman who punches his wife, and also adding that he lied about his book, saying that he was not in prison, he was not starved, and he did not have to escape from the church. And then he made his
That's
stepmom out
crazy.
to be a lying gold digger who wants to exploit her stepson for fame. My guy Keegan did some digging and found out
That's
that after
nuts.
David's parents escaped the church, they
Goes
eventually
on in
settled down
there.
in West Allis, which is only 10 minutes from us in Milwaukee. He FOIA requested West Allis police records and found that Scientology paid a private investigator 10 grand a week to tail his dad and give hourly reports on his
What the
activities and
fuck?
whereabouts. This private investigator was found with a gun, silencer, and over 2,000 rounds of ammunition in his trunk. Stalking people with private investigators is allegedly a favorite tactic of
What
Islamic
the
church,
fuck?
and shows
And he
you just
was
the tip of
loaded the
iceberg of
fuck
how
up?
much Scientology tries to ruin your life if you leave the religion or try and speak out against them.
I don't know how many people they squeeze into one apartment. 8 to 12, I believe.
From the outside, it looks like a normal Florida apartment complex. What they are is 2 and 3 bedroom units where you've got like 4 bunk beds in the living room, 4 more bunk beds in each bedroom. Like you could be fitting like 15 people, easily 15 people
What the fuck?
into a unit. Like it's illegal.
That's
They'll
something
charge
to hide.
you for the apartment, for the food, for this, that, and the other thing. So if you leave, there are people who leave with $100,000 bill or more.
So I was born in Scientology. From the very first breath that I took, I was in the billion-year contract wrapped up because my parents had been recruited to go to the AFA. My parents are from North Mexico. I grew up in appalling conditions in Mexico. The cadet org was disgusting. It was like 100 kids.
Damn.
I remember we had one nanny. She was like 16 years old and she was like stuck with like infants. Like my sister also grew up there, and I remember still like her being in a crib, you know, like with full of urine, like no care for the babies at all.
Folks, we gotta emphasize
That's
what we just
fucking
heard
nuts.
because it's so crazy. Imagine this: dozens of babies in a room, many of them crying, needing to be held,
Damn!
sitting in their
You
own
think that's
dirty
real,
diaper,
chat?
and just one overwhelmed teenager caring for them. Allegedly, it's sickening, and the reason allegedly this is done
What up,
is because good old
Clam?
L. Ron Hubbard basically believes that babies should be treated like adults, and they don't need any
Vamp, re-download Warzone for the one time with me, good sis.
special sort of care or
Just run it
attention.
back for the one
From the
time.
age of 2 on.
The OG DJ Sen duo. Vamp featuring DJ Sen featuring W's on Warzone. Oh yeah. Bro, it was me, Vamp, and Jason, bro. When I first started playing Warzone, it was me, Vamp, and Jason. You guys remember those days where us three would, because that was a long time ago. Yo, Jason, does this beanie not bring back memories? I found this shit, dude. I was like getting some stuff out of my car because I still had stuff in my car from where I moved, like boxes and stuff, bro. Look what I found. I found my old beanie, bro. And bro, and I found this old merch too that I used to have. Oh fuck, what did I do?
The private
From the outside,
Or
Up there, and I
allegedly. believes that babies should be treated like adults and
That's crazy.
they don't
Slay.
need any special sort of care or attention. From the age of 2 on,
He called us bots. Oh my god, bro. Jason, find me the bots clip if you have it on hand, bro. That's so funny. I remember that clip.
Only once a week.
Bro, please.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
So my parents worked for Scientology's most dedicated group called the Sea Org, the Sea Organization. They signed a contract pledging themselves lifetime after lifetime for 1 billion years to servitude to Scientology. It meant that they worked like 115-hour weeks. They got
Moving like
little
bots.
time off.
You guys
Kids
were,
that were born into
bro.
the Sea Org were taken care of by nannies. They didn't see their parents. They were lucky they saw them for an hour a week.
What are the benefits of doing all this? Why would someone devote their life to this?
When you're doing it,
Vamp was like
that you're
running in
dedicating
circles,
yourself
and Jason was like diving, standing up, laying back down. There was like nobody around. Vamp's like sprinting in fucking circles.
to an amazing cause. You think that you're like saving mankind, and it's sort of like the
And
greatest.
I'm like
purpose
the only
you
one
have.
sitting there shooting
And
at
our
the enemy, and
parents
I'm
were
like,
in this
and I'm
mission
like,
to-
where's my team? And I turn around, and Vamp's running in circles, and Jason's like proning up and down.
Save the world, right? It's like they're all like stuck in this like, you know, job that they were doing for Scientology that they were prioritizing over their newborns, basically.
Well, they really believe they're saving the planet. This is like a mind control factory.
We wanted to get our feet wet with Scientology, so we went to their welcome center where they were selling the Diagnetic books, and I happen to know after doing some research that a lady named Pat sat at the front desk and she was actually a media liaison. So I thought she'd be a good person to talk to. Here's how this mission went. Good morning, good morning. Oh, I'm a travel vlogger.
No filming.
Oh, I'm just a travel vlogger.
Stop filming in here, please.
Pat Harney, you gotta relax. This is public, right? You open it up, all are welcome. L. Ron Hubbard. And who is L. Ron Hubbard?
He is a
That's
science
crazy.
fiction, Western
What up,
fantasy
Kaylin?
author, born in
This one. Oh, it is this one. Yo, are you guys playing the game? Seriously, like, what if my... Chat, look at this. What are they doing? Like, what are they looking... Like, what are you looking at, bro?
Hostiles dropping into the
Like, right
area.
there.
Watch the skies.
What the fuck is going on, bro? Bro, they're literally bots. They're literally NPCs, bro.
Stay sharp out there.
Like, Jason, Vamp is laying down facing me, and there's a guy running towards her right now. Bro, look at her. She didn't even react. I've already killed and downed them. There's no way. And she just stood up and turned around. Hey, you're real, vampire! That guy just ran up behind you. There's no way you're real. There's no way that she lays back down. She's like, alright, I'm going back to sleep. You two are real, bro.
Strike in the area.
Like, I refuse to believe.
Team has
I'm over here eating motherfuckers up.
1911 in Tilden,
This is my
Nebraska.
full name. That's how bad it
He was a
was.
guy who lived an amazing life, but it was a pathological liar and a con man.
It's
And he basically
insane.
created Dianetics as sort
You're
of
in
this, like,
trouble.
poor man's psychotherapy, and then a few years later created Scientology.
Hey there, how you?
Bro, I killed 3 people in that clip, and none of them fired their guns once.
doing? I'm just trying to buy a book, sir. And why does no one here answer questions?
Come over here.
Can I buy a book first?
Private property, you can, but you can buy it out here.
Are you like a leader here?
Can you please come outside?
Are you a Sea Org member?
Can you please come outside?
I will come outside if you can answer like 3 questions. I would love to come outside.
Come outside, please. This is private property.
Bro, why does that security guard have a body
Hey,
camera on?
Elron. All right, Pat, have a good day. I wish we could have talked more, honestly. Hey, guys, they're not really open to the public anymore. We have their Agent Smith coming.
Can you come up?
Oh, no. Agent Smith, what got you into Scientology?
Why is bro taking pictures of him like he's far away taking like stakeout shots, but he's like right up in their face with that big ass camera? What are they doing? Like, how is that a thing?
Oh, sorry, I'm just...
Can you watch out for it?
Hold on, I'm standing still. He's taking a picture. I'm trying to pose. I don't want it to be a blurry photo. The house in the garden. What time do you think I
What
should
up,
buy
a
later?
bitch much
Like,
for
you guys do
herself, dude.
cookouts or anything like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I bet you guys would actually enjoy...
Check out our website. Check out our TV channel, okay? Fantastic.
All right.
Go to our website, check out our TV channel. You got banned from this server by accident or for real, for real?
Answer no questions. I wasn't allowed to buy the book, which I would have bought the book. I met Pat at the front.
Pat basically a PR person here.
Oh, she's the PR person. No one would answer even
That's
one
crazy.
question.
Of course not.
Like real banned? Like IRL banned? Like it wasn't like an accident? Because I know Skrilla got banned by accident.
Next, we went to the infamous flag building to see if we could infiltrate and see what was going on inside. Unfortunately, a call to the Clearwater Police Department had already
What did you do? What did you deserve it before I say anything?
been made.
Because like you deserve it, you know. Hey, you fucker. But good shit. Getting banned sounds kind of badass. But are they being fucks?
I touched the doors. I turned around and saw the police waiting for me. Looks like the police may have been called and are following us.
There was a call on a van, a suspicious vehicle, so.
A suspicious vehicle?
You guys can film all you want, but just don't antagonize.
I would let her arrest me, chat.
Nice that way. Should say. Otherwise, they're gonna do a criminal trespass on you. So that means if you step foot on any of their property, you go to jail. It's silly.
But right now, I'm really just trying to talk to one Scientology member that'll answer.
Good luck.
What is it like?
We robbed finesse shop for 34 mil. I don't even know what. But did you do it? RP as we know. Alright, chat. You know what? Fuck that server, bro. If our homies can't fly in, we ain't flying in.
Living in a city that's dominated by Scientology.
It's horrible. When we see them, they're marching in line like zombies, you know?
I don't even know what finesse shop is.
What do you think about them owning $200 million worth of real estate?
I mean, if that's what they want to do and they're not hurting anybody else, just as long as they're American citizens.
Well, they bought that whole block, 2 blocks, I believe, and across the street, too.
They pay their taxes.
They're tax exempt.
The shop Roy worked at? Oh, I thought he owned that. Bro was an employee and robbed the employer.
So if you
I disagree with that. Elon Musk needs to get on that.
Well, Jay said, bro, like the Lucianos, 5 or 6 people, Unc, like there's Smith, all those people, bro. Who we gonna play with? Like who the fuck we gonna arrest? The guys who sit in the parking lot all day?
It needs to be looked at, investigated, and someone to make a good decision on that, and that's going to be President Trump.
Nobody knows anything.
Is the town trying to do something
like Donald
to
Trump.
The commissioners
Like Donald
are,
Trump.
but what can you do?
Scientology started secretly buying up all the property downtown here in 2017.
Well, Alina, is this true?
I was working in the hotel.
They bought up a bunch of property in Clearwater and just let the buildings go empty?
I was doing demolition, I was doing construction, I was doing HVAC, and I was there with several hundred kids from all over the world. I was working 7 days a week, 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, 365 days a year for 4 years.
So a lot of it was training, a lot of it was
Bro, Sweet Brown lives in
cleaning,
Clearwater.
and we did like laundry and clean the rooms of executives, so they would like inspect with a white glove to make sure that we didn't miss anything.
Tom Cruise's penthouse? Bro, drones are actually low-key scary. Like look at this, bro. Motherfucker flew a drone up and he's viewing Tom Cruise's penthouse. Like anybody can get a drone nowadays and just like fly up to your fucking window.
Tom Cruise gives all credit to Scientology for his success. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise.
Which is this if
Tom
the
Cruise,
Scientology
not
one
because
probably
of
is cool.
Scientology.
Every single window is closed. Every single blinds that you could see into is closed at a certain level until it ends. They're a very don't look in here type of a place. What was going through your head when you
That's so sus. Every single window you can't see into it.
Back into it.
Since my whole
That's how you know
entire
you're hiding
family was
something.
connected to it, it never left us. So we were still kind of like exposed
Relatives
to
were into it
my
as well.
relatives, all my aunts, all my uncles, all my cousins, everybody. I signed a billion-year contract, and now
Or you pay
I'm
fines
there
or
for the rest
jail
of my
time.
life. And my
Really?
pay was gonna be $50 a week. So I was like,
I've been
oh,
seeing
damn,
drones
I'm
all the
10K
time.
in debt, $50 a week. I'm like, okay, I guess I just have to really make it here.
When I was 12 years old, I was moved across the country
So brainwashed,
here to
yeah.
Clearwater, and my parents were still.
Yeah, not even the Mormon territory is that bad. Like Mormons are pretty welcoming. Like you can like I've gone to a lot of Mormon places that are like Mormon owned and they've treated me good and it's been chill. I've liked it and no problems.
In California.
Any part of you say something's not right here, something's really wrong.
I don't think that second part added into it. Not like there's something really wrong. It was, that whole thought process pretty much just stopped at the point where I was like, I don't know what to do about this.
Even the higher ups, like, yes, they had some things easier,
Bro,
but that's
does your drone record footage, bro? That'd be so fucking dope, Jason. Because we have a rooftop hot tub. Imagine getting some drone shots of all of us, like, partying.
really mostly at the top. I feel
bang
like
your YouTube vid.
Scientology is like a game of power, and everybody has to report on each other, and that's how you get to the top, is essentially by throwing other people under the bus. That's the only way you can feel important.
The way to happiness, this used to be the Lisa McPherson Trust. This is where we had our offices right next door to Scientology's. OSA, Department of Office of Special Affairs, was right there, the dirty tricks people. Right through there, that was my office right behind these windows here. All locked up. They don't want anyone to see what's going on in there now. Now that they know your cameras are here, this entire several blocks of front groups are shut down.
That's
One thing
crazy.
that comes to my mind when I walk past all these empty buildings that look like they're fully functioning offices, but no one's here.
Right.
It's like North Korea. It's like a very staged play that you're a part of.
Yeah.
Yet when you look, just peek a little bit behind the surface, like there's no one. All the windows are shut. There's no sunlight coming in. There's no one here.
There's cameras everywhere. I've seen so many cameras on the wall.
They make it look like someone just had a meeting in here, or let's see if there's a front desk right here. This is an office that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this is an office that should have at least a front desk worker, if not an employee. None of this has anyone in it.
The books look sus.
No
Looks like a
city on
setup.
earth
Feels the negative effects of Scientology quite like Clearwater, Florida. Some fantastic reporting by the Tampa Bay Times reveals how
I went to Clearwater a lot growing up, but I was a little kid, so I didn't notice as much, and we were always on the beach.
the church has taken over the city. In 1975, the church purchased the Fort Harrison Hotel and made this their headquarters. Over the decades, the church began acquiring real estate at a ferocious pace, scooping up property after property. Since then, they've poured hundreds of millions into more than
That's crazy, bro.
200 buildings, owning the majority of the Clearwater downtown. Mind you, this is with tax-free money because somehow the IRS lost their balls when confronting the church, ruling in 1993 Scientology to be a tax-exempt religion. The weird thing
That's
is they
fucking
left most of
crazy.
the buildings vacant, turning Clearwater into a sort of
didn't know
North
it.
Korean
Yeah.
ghost town. The question is why. Insiders speculate
I
it's
lived there
because
for a
they
little while
want
when I
to
was a
show
kid. I
dominant
moved back
presence, but
there.
the truth
and
is
lived
they
there for
simply
like
do
8
not
months.
have the numbers
when
of
I-
people
but I
to
didn't live in
occupy these
Clearwater.
buildings, and it's no
I went. My grandma is from Winter Haven, Florida, and she lived down there. So as a kid, we'd go down and visit, and we'd always drive down to Clearwater Beach. And then when I got older and I moved back down there, I lived in a place called fucking Indian Rocks. I don't know if you've heard it.
surprised.
It's a
Their
little-
peak
a little
membership
town in
numbers
Florida.
were before the internet, but now that their practices are widely publicized,
I wanted to live
they
in
are
Miami,
unable
bro,
to
but
recruit new members
shit was
and are
way too
slowly
expensive.
going extinct. But even as a dying empire, they still have a
But I was just happy to be at the beach and to be in Florida.
great deal of power over Clearwater, and they are crushing the businesses in the downtown. Just take it from Tony, a local entrepreneur.
You know exactly where that is? That's how you know you're from Florida, because like people outside of Florida is like, where'd you live in Florida? Orlando, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. It's like Indian Rocks. They're like, what the fuck is that?
Facing dire financial circumstances because of the church.
So this is obviously our place. We start off with the Nash keys, and between like bureaucracy and stagnation, we had harassing phone calls about us not being part of the community to get out of the town. Even
Lean
death
is a
threats later.
true jit.
But it took us 3 years
True
to get these
flauta
places
jit.
open. A year and a half of permitting. More walls than you can imagine were being put up for us. but
Ever
we
since
got
I was
open.
a jit, I knew I was legit.
Tell me more about that.
Death threats meaning like poisoning, harassing to get the f out of the town. That
Someone tried poisoning you?
No, they allude to that they're going to poison me.
Describe what's happened to this block over time and how Scientology.
Why is it so empty there in Clearwater?
The way they actually affect it is that the negative stigma that has on it, the overbearing control and presence that they portray. They like to portray like a sense of unity that is disheartening to most of the community.
Is that their bus behind us?
Absolutely. They're more organized than our government.
That's
And their
crazy.
bus windows are blacked out.
Yes, they have very weird things that they do. I've seen a bunch of strange things. This is
Why is everything blacked out?
It's a two-story club.
It is nice, and in the evening times, I've seen this place just booming.
If you want to fight against the empire of Scientology,
come into this local business, spend some money, get a cigar, get a drink, and meet this handsome fella right here.
Let's take back Clearwater, $1 at a time, like you just said.
Do you remember what feelings were going on in your head as
It's
a
a
5-year-old
fake
that led to
city.
the paint thinner?
We had no one to go to. Like, there was no adults around. Like, all the adults were compromised. In 1986, L. Ron Hubbard ends up dead, and because they had seen that a lot of people had left the Scientology because they were treating them so horribly.
Bro, I can't believe, like, this guy was writing science fiction books, and a bunch of nerds were like, oh my god, what if this was real? Let's make this real life. Like, it's like a bunch of sci-fi books. What the fuck?
They would always come back with this amnesty. We're gonna forgive you for all the suppressive acts you committed. If you come back, if you write them down, then we'll forgive you, and then pretend they didn't happen. So that's when my parents got roped back in. They said, you're a suppressive because you blew because your child almost died. Oh no, we're gonna forgive you for having left without permission.
To really see what's going on in Hacienda Gardens, we got a drone operator that's gonna be able to show us what's happening and also show us their real estate holdings. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you. Big fan. It's crazy. Did
Appreciate
not expect
you,
this
man.
today.
Oh, if you could go over to where the pool is, then that will help orient me a little better. It's like if you
want to turn around?
Yeah, straight up there. Yeah, and go to the end. That was where.
Right here?
That was the end one, yeah. And my mom.
That was the
And that
penthouse
ending.
suite there?
It was just 4 condos, and there would always
That's
be a
so
security
crazy.
guard posted, sitting across the way looking.
Like, there's just
That's really
spying.
make it lower. That's weird.
Do you think it's a blocker?
That's the only thing I can think of, because they'll let me go up, but it won't let me go back down to where I was.
Interesting.
It's really odd.
And you lived in these apartments for how long?
What? They got a force
About
field?
4 years.
I lived here for a few years as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember which block you lived in?
Multiple blocks, but one of the last ones was this one right here.
And you really can't get out unless they let you out. Like, we would have to come out and tell them what we were doing. Like, if it was on one of the mornings where we would do cleaning, and if we wanted to, like, go to the gas station or something like that, we'd have to
Like,
talk.
even going for a walk
That's the
outside?
thing, like a normal apartment complex, you know, the magnetic doors, you know, like if you have gates and magnetic doors, usually you can get out.
Yeah, this
You might
place
get
is
a key to
walled
get
all the way
You
in.
cannot get out.
Yeah,
of this
like
apartment.
most apartment complexes have walls, but like there's places for you to walk into. This only has one gate to drive in and out of.
Apartment complex.
This is a
Without a
compound.
security guard letting you out and opening the gate.
Is that D block? Why can't I read it? Yeah, that's D block.
Okay, so I lived here in D block.
Yeah.
Like
so
towards-
interestingly, they actually turned the camera away from us.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway, so I lived at the end of D block in like the lower levels. They actually had fixed these ones up to be a little bit nicer.
Would you be surprised if they had vehicles patrolling?
I'm sure they have vehicles patrolling.
Is it that? Are they that paranoid?
Yeah. I mean, David Miscavige takes his security as seriously as a head of state.
That's
Let's
crazy.
get in. Let's get in.
What?
Hey, we got a meeting with David Miscavige. Go. Hey, look at the flashing. Go back. Hold on. Hold on, please, sir. I just want to ask questions of David. Sir, please. Stop, sir. Sir, please. Oh, sir, ow!
Jeez, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 cameras on us.
Bro, the whole city, I've seen, and I always pick up on security cameras. What up, Shrimp? I've seen literally hundreds of, like, little security cameras fucking everywhere. This fucking Clearwater, they're watching you like fucking China.
How long were your parents out before they went back in?
What was this? Like maybe like 3-4 years. Then L. Ron Hubbard dies. They go back to Mexico. They get recruited back in again.
Was their life terrible outside of Scientology?
My grandparents were chill. My grandparents were normal people.
So what would have possibly motivated after they escaped and had freedom for 3 or 4 years?
Scientology caters to a narcissistic personality because the thing is, it
fucked.
promises superiority. It
I love the beach.
You're going to be better than everyone else.
Do you ever get to confront your parents about that or ask them, are they still in it?
No, my parents aren't in Scientology anymore, and they think Scientology is horrible, and they've said that it's like the biggest regret of their life.
How was it escaping Scientology?
Well, I guess the thing is that in Scientology, you know, at certain levels of management, they actually won't let you leave. Like the
Each
area
other
will be
for
surrounded
months.
by gates, and they won't let you out the door if you
Cotto,
manage to leave.
you saw the dates. You saw Los Angeles on there, bro. We gotta hit up the beach.
They'll chase you.
Where's the beach?
Because when you leave, people who are in Scientology are no longer able to speak to you. You can't get a job at a Scientology company.
Missed you, dog.
Like in my case, I didn't know how to drive. I didn't have a bank account.
No
so
bank
your
account.
livelihood actually
Broke.
getting a job depends on you being.
That's when your birthday is too. Dead ass. Dead ass. Bro, I did Jersey on Penn's birthday unintentionally, and I did LA on Cotto's birthday unintentionally.
Connected to these people, or you lose every family member, and so while you can just walk away,
bro,
that's like
gotta
totally
turn the
deceiving.
fuck up.
You risk losing everything that's important to you if you do.
I got it in my head that we wanted to storm the Celebrity Center, which is the place that the highest ranking and most influential Scientologists go. Actors like Tom Cruise and John Travolta, and businessmen like Grant Cardone. So I wanted to see for myself what was behind these walls. Here's how that went.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, where's the private property line? Where's the line?
Private property. Guys, it's private property.
Is
You're
that
on the sidewalk.
He's on private. Oh my God, he's on private property.
Right on the sidewalk.
No, but
You're on private property.
What makes it worth selling your?
That's crazy, bro. They got soldiers. Look at them.
Your soul for $1 billion years.
Just close. Just move to the sidewalk. That's
Does
what we're
Tom
asking.
Cruise know that you guys work for $50 a week?
What we're asking is just to move to the sidewalk. You need you to move out here.
Oh, whoa.
Come this way.
Are you?
You need to move off private property.
Why are you bumping and grinding on me? This ain't a Nelly song.
We need
partner.
you to move off. You're on private property, sir.
How do we talk to someone from Scientology?
You guys need to leave right now. Get off the property. Get off the property. You're trespassing. You need to leave right now. You need to leave right now.
Why do they all have these little badges?
Private property. You need to leave right now. Leave right
Dang,
now.
he folded quick. He put a hand on me. The guy, he pushed it back to don't touch me.
Private property.
All right, we'll be back. We'll be back.
Sir, just need. You
Are
just
you
need to be.
guys pushing me?
Stop pushing me.
You push me.
I see you're on private property. We just need to move off here.
I don't have anything against you guys. I'm just curious.
He's trying to help y'all escape.
You can escape. You still can leave. Like, to think that you would work 80 hours a week, what makes it worth it? Are the security guys there, are they Scientologists?
Yes, they're actually some of the most important Scientologists. Have you ever heard of the term OSA? That's the Office of Special Affairs. Sort of like Scientology's FBI, CIA, Secret Service all in one. So they do all the dirty work. They're very high ranking.
Dude,
That's
what would
crazy.
happen if we would have started, we had a fist fight?
That would have been good content.
Good content.
With 3 of them?
This is William Jude. When I told Aaron Levin-Smith I was headed to LA to further investigate the church there, he said you gotta meet up with William. Known for his work battling the church on his YouTube channel Scientology Audit LA Streets, William has spent months documenting and battling Scientology. Together, we go on a mission to infiltrate the church's LA stronghold.
So my name is William Good. You know, I'm an activist out here. Had a beef with Scientology a couple of years ago, and they said some really crude things to me.
What did they say?
A security guard told me to suck his c. So I thought that was kind of crude, so I said I'm going to end your religion, and so here we are. So
That's crazy. He said, suck my dick. He's like, I'm going to end your religion. My bicentennial 21st birthday.
110 hours a week
Say
for
keep it
nothing.
okay.
They're literally slaves.
They're slaves, and a lot of these people come from other countries, right? So they bring them here on religious visas, and then once we get here, they take their paperwork away, so now they're stuck.
Should we visit one of their plantations?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Let's go.
All right. So let's just drive by there real quick so I can just show you how to go about doing it. Then park a few blocks away, and then are you gonna? If you walk in with your cameras,
yeah,
there's no chance. Because when I come walking on the street, I have to hug the wall so they don't see me. The minute she sees me, she goes. I mean, they will literally run in there and close the door.
We got our guy, Cheddar, aka Texas Buzz, back for another investigative piece. You may have seen him in the sex, money, murder piece in Dallas, where he infiltrated the prostitution ring. Now we're sending you into Scientology, man.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I don't know too much about this, so you know, I'm just gonna go in there and be genuinely curious, like what's going on.
I think that's the perfect approach. It's gonna be similar to the Clearwater bookstore, so we want to get a fresh perspective. So, Cheddar, good luck on your mission.
Got you.
And no tortas on the way there. Just make it straight to the wall,
I got
okay?
you.
Go get him, Cheddar.
Dang.
Doors are locked, doors are closed.
Damn.
Oh, they shut the doors.
Yeah, so they realized. They're no joke with the things.
What happened in there?
No, nothing.
They just closed the
closed
door?
the doors.
Did you see him close the doors?
No.
They already had him closed.
They already had him closed.
Damn.
This is Dre. He's one of the editors on my team and has been with us for a few months
That's
cranking out
crazy.
videos. In making this piece, we
Does he
found
talk
out
like
that he actually
Psilocybus?
joined
Nah, he has a weird cadence how he talks.
Scientology for about a week. Here's what we learned from him.
I'm Dre, and I almost joined Scientology. It was back in 2020 that I took a trip out to LA. Being in the area, you always heard about Tom Cruise talking about Scientology. So it was one of those stops I wanted to do. I was just on a regular touristy trip. I was looking at the stars, and then they got people in suits always just walking down and forth closer to the Scientology building. So that's where they got me. Initially, when you go into that building, they have their showroom. So that first half that I stepped into was the museum part. And they have posters, TVs, small
That's
little like
crazy.
segments of like who they are. And then once you go into the back room, it looks more of an office, but like higher end office. They have their cubicles, they'll bring you into one
That
of the
looks like it
cubicles
sucks
and
in
start
there.
talking to you. It felt like therapy. The whole time they're very personal. So they're always looking at you. It feels like they actually want to get to know you. We were in there for
Is he wearing a fake nose ring?
like 4 hours. They emphasized me coming back, and they kept on saying like, oh, well, how long are you here till? You know, could you come back tomorrow? We can like do more things. So they took me from the initial consultation, I'm gonna call it, and then they pitched me well, you know, we think you'd benefit from this first seminar, which is this book right here. I got this book during that seminar. So someone was leading the course, they showed us videos, we talked about it, they made us like write, so it was a full blown, you're interacting with the person teaching us and then the video they're showing us.
Oh, cookie cutter seemed like a little high up. Is it? They're sneaky.
I never went back, but I know that I continuously get emails and I still get letters sent to me.
Is that Jennifer?
Jennifer.
Crosshauer. She's like their main.
I just pull up to their work.
That is Jennifer.
That is Jennifer. Can we talk to her?
Try to.
The lady Williams spotted is Jennifer
Damn.
Krauskopf. She is Scientology's chief legal officer, even though it's unclear if she even has a license to practice law. She's the one in charge of things like getting restraining orders on protesters and personally signing all legal documents between the church and the city of Los Angeles. We jump out on foot to try and speak with her.
Jennifer, can we talk to you a little bit? How's the Sea Org treating you? We can help you get out if you want to. Jenny!
Stay off the property, you're trespassing.
Where does it start?
Nope.
Where, can you tell me where the line is?
Private property.
Damn.
Let's go. Get out of the property. You're trespassing.
Yeah, you're fuck out. Get out.
Don't push
You're
me.
trespassing.
Where's the line?
Okay.
Over there.
I'll show you
Where's the line?
Pepper spray. Now you get out, or I'm gonna use it.
That seems like a crime.
Yes, go ahead, report it.
That's a little pussy move.
See, that was easy.
A real man wouldn't need pepper spray. I would love to
That's
see the
crazy.
inside. Has any footage really been captured on the inside?
Through the windows, but every time we film through the windows, they try to prosecute. You notice something? No windows are open, right? Shades are down everywhere.
So with the internet, it's almost impossible for them to recruit.
Yeah.
Before the internet, when information wasn't exposed, it was a cool hip Hollywood thing. All the LA people were doing it. Monkey see, monkey do. But that ship has sailed.
Yeah, the Celebrity Center, the reason they bought the Celebrity Center is that was going to be their
crazy.
main recruiting spot. That's where all the stars are going to come hang out, and you know what? I want to be part of that. That's cool. And they give acting classes there for free? Hell
They
yeah,
get
I
put
want to go there.
at the
Little do you know, it's not
building.
really an
I
acting
think they
class.
would
You're just
accept
being
you.
recruited in. But now, because of information, all the younger generation knows. They're like, oh, no, that place is a
Kato. Bro, Kato lives in LA. Kato. Walk in there and talk to him. Just be curious and just be like, I'm an up and coming like actor model, and I just, you know, my friend's been telling me about the church, and he said it could help me. And bro, go there, dude. You gotta get the inside scoop for us. What if we'd never see Kato again after that chat?
The cult.
What was the moment that drove you to the point where you said, I gotta get out of here?
It's hard to
Oh,
just say
no.
one moment because so many
I was like, the consultation went great. I'm going back tomorrow, my first seminar, and you just never hear from him again.
things happened throughout my life.
Or he actually gets into it. He's like, sorry, son, I'm a Thetan now. I just signed a billion-year contract. I can't watch stream anymore.
There's so many things that were horrible, so many things that should have been the moment.
Scary.
But it was after a period of time where
I'd have
I
to go
had been on a
extract them.
Scientology mission.
I don't want to get too deep. That's a first for you.
That was in an area where it wasn't as so rigid as the base that I had returned to after, where they weren't letting people sleep. They were like, if you were to fall asleep during an L. Ron Hubbard lecture, they would make you like, they would first embarrass you in front of everybody by screaming at you, and then they would make you scrub the dumpster with a toothbrush, and we weren't having any time off at all. So it was just getting more and more strict.
What made your parents leave?
They were at Scientology's international
They got
management
pizza
base,
here, I'm fine.
and so they were witness
I
to
mean,
a lot of
shit.
things that were going on
I'm easy
there,
to convince with pizza.
including my uncle David Miscavige, who's the leader of Scientology, like physically beating staff.
Like punching him?
Yeah, like punching in the face. And my parents themselves were separated from each other for many, many years.
This is a loaded question, but do you feel robbed of your childhood?
Yeah, actually I do often feel that way. I mean, I
That's
don't
crazy.
like go around being angry at it all the time. There was a period when I first came out of Scientology when I was angry at certain things that happened, but honestly, once I became a mom, I actually started to get a little bit more angry about my childhood because I didn't know.
What's your prediction?
I'm recruiting
about
for
the
them
future
right
of
now,
Scientology?
and I recruited you.
These stories of how Scientology treats children are going to come out more and more, and people are going to be disgusted by them. So I feel like the more stories that come out into the public, the more, whether it's a legal battle that takes them down or just like a public relations or both, it's like nobody will join. They'll eventually be bled dry, and hopefully they have some legal battles that they lose as well, and it all comes together.
To show you how
That's
full
crazy.
of lies and manipulation this church is, just
Legal
check out this
battles.
911 call they made on us.
Hey, Northeast Unit 45966 just left 1306 L. Ron Hubbard Way, Church of Scientology. CPR can direct to suspects 45 male whites. No further suspect vehicle.
They claimed we burglarized the church
What the
and fled the
fuck?
scene in our rental car. Here is us saying hello to the LAPD when they reported to the scene.
They're pointing at us. You want to pull up my platform?
Hey there!
The entire
So apparently the LAPD showed up to the scene.
Yeah, just park right here and just walk up.
Give my regards to Xenu, okay? Thank you.
That's
One thing to question
crazy.
is this. When there are repeated calls to a location like there is with Scientology, typically a city will label the property a nuisance property, which means the property in question must correct their issues or face legal action from the city. So why is it that Scientology can blatantly lie, allegedly, and
That's
disproportionately
crazy.
use city resources without repercussions? And keep in mind they are doing this as an entity that does not even pay taxes.
All right, folks. that
Wish
was a
I'd
look
have to
into the
pay
world of
fucking
Scientology.
taxes.
If you'd
You
like to
just
see more
use
of William's
power.
stuff, his Instagram
I would
and
take
YouTube
over,
is
make
tagged
it
in the
lit.
description. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey. Don't join a cult. We'll see you next week. And my final
It
thought
depends on the cult.
is I
Just
send
saying.
my regards to David Miscavige. Peace.
Folks, after seeing all this, you might be wondering a few things. Like, number one, why in the fuck has the FBI not kicked down this place's door, raided them, and gotten everyone responsible for child neglect and the other insane behaviors allegedly arrested? The other thing that comes to mind is how in the God's green earth is this place tax exempt after amassing a multi-$100 million real estate portfolio? I guess I'm gonna start my own religion so I can get rich
Real.
too. Folks, I don't have all of these answers, but
Bro,
what I
we
do
need
know
to start Scientology so I don't have to file taxes.
is this. If you send me other leads to cults, churches, people that need investigating, I will go boots on the ground. So send me leads to Tommy.
Bro, please send this guy leads. Just be like, you gotta look into this DJ Sin guy running an online cult in Utah. You gotta look into him. I'll act all sketch. I was like, fine, I'll do an interview. And like, I'm sitting there and you guys can all stand around me like, oh. It's like, just make it really freaky.
GMiggy123@gmail.com.
Just completely gaslight him.
And I will report for duty. I love you guys. Fuck Scientology, and see you next week.
It's